Podcast episode 927. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Were you giggling because I was blowing my nose and like in my own world before we just started right there?
No.
Oh.
I was giggling as a way of say, like, is she going to come in hot?
Yeah, I didn't know either. And then I was like, oh yeah, we're recording. I better stop blowing my nose. So here we are.
Even at 10. Well, we're very good at being ourselves. So that makes sense that we don't know the line between like on air and off air.
That's true. And sometimes I have to remember, what did I tell all of you guys? And what did I tell my girlfriend? And what did I tell my clients? And like,
I'm sure we repeat ourselves and people are like, just pretend like it's new information.
Yeah. I'm like, did I say this on here? Or did I, but
welcome.
Yeah. And sometimes you got to repeat things a few times for them to really sink in.
That's right. We're doing them a favor.
Like if you haven't left a 5-star review, you should. Should I start the episode with that? That's wild. But here we are.
Yeah, because some people are getting mad and mean on Spotify comments, mainly at Sue's here.
I bet this was a person who said something that wasn't even very mean, and you are...
It was two people. One was saying that I don't go to therapy, and so I corrected them.
Yeah.
And one person, this was in regard to the Astro World commentary.
Yeah.
And they were like, basically, well, it's pretty crazy that they're saying this when they didn't even want Taylor Swift to stop her show when everyone needed water. And I was like, what? We definitely would want Taylor Swift to stop her show for water. And also the comment sort of implied that we didn't like Taylor Swift. And I was like, girl, I was at the concert in Liverpool.
Right.
So
I
down.
Take her or leave her. I like what she does for women. I think.
Yeah, you're fine with her though.
I'm fine with her.
But we're definitely pro safety and pro stopping concerts for safety reasons.
See, those are not big deals. They weren't
but I don't know.
Suck.
Well, I just don't know where people are coming up with this stuff.
I don't know. Hey, you know what? If you don't have some haters, you're not doing it right.
That's right.
There's got to be some saying about that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And it's like a 5-to-1 ratio. I always say it's like 5 positives to 1 negative. And I think if we can stick in that,
well, unfortunately, these are 2 negative and 0 positives.
What, 0 positives?
0.
Whoa! You didn't tell me that, guys. Get on Spotify. What are we doing?
I mean, maybe it worked itself out.
Speaking of you guys listening to calls to action, I do have one little update. One thing I have to talk to you guys about. People were so nice with
my God.
Their donations to my plant cause.
Tell me what the grand total was.
It was
These are Venmo donations.
Great. My grand total came out to about like 161, which is amazing. I had some big donors.
Oh,
shout out to Modern Dad.
Oh my God! Shout out to Modern Dad. I have a Venmo too. Okay, Susie Meister. That's amazing. Yeah. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, we're gonna have to come up with some Susie birthday cause that we're gonna like.
Yeah, please.
But it is great. So I'm very excited. I am going to take you guys on a video journey with me to get some plants and name them after the people.
The donors?
Because I said I would do that.
That's a great idea. I forgot about that.
On there. And so it's great. And so I'm going to go to a real plant nursery that my friend who has like the plant house full of plants that when she goes to, it's like not, Home Depot.
Right.
You go to like a real nursery where they really are like, have all the fun stuff and grow and they last for, and they have like the 1-year guarantee on them. I love that.
Yes, I totally get it.
Alive. So, yeah.
I'm happy.
Do that. I'm so excited.
I'm so glad people knew how important that was.
Yeah, and it's just such a nice little treat. So thank you guys so much. That like warms my heart. And it was just like $1, $1.99, and like the comments that people put really made my day. So just I just want to
really
thank everybody.
Thanks, Brainiacs. You guys are the best.
All the things that you do. I have some fun things to talk about besides plant updates, and I'm so excited that we now have our little podcast table of content. So here are the things on my agenda.
Okay.
I want to talk about mushroom coffins.
Okay.
I want to talk about tourism and the oversaturation of like over tourism in certain places.
Yeah.
Especially an article I read about Kyoto, especially.
Okay.
I want to talk about the enhanced games, which we briefly discussed when we were together, which is the alternative to the Olympics on steroids.
Oh my God. Yes. And then I saw an article about it and I thought, I'm not going to read that because Sarah's like got this covered. So I hope you really do. Should I have read it?
Fresh. I mean, always, but
oh my God.
You know, I'll do what I can. I have all the info. I actually have it fully covered. I have everything every question.
Okay. You got it.
I think that you would want asked because you asked some of those questions. So I had some like,
I think it's such an interesting concept. So I look forward to that.
What you were curious about. So I had the answers.
Okay.
And then we're going to maybe talk, if I have time, about a scammy dentist.
Of all the scammers, I think dentists are my favorite.
Oh. Okay.
It just feels like it's like a real wheelhouse.
Yeah, well, you'll see with this one. And then I have way too much stuff on my list. The other thing, maybe we'll get to another day, the actual effects of brain rot and the downside of digital documentation. I have so much. See, but we'll start in that order. We'll get to the first stuff.
Do we have any personal stories that we need to cover first? Oh, wait, I do have this quick one.
Yeah,
this is like no big whoop.
Yeah.
But I don't think I told you this story, and I keep reflecting on it and being like, did I tell Sarah that one? It's sort of what we were saying before. Like, did I tell her? Okay. Did I tell you how, my mom's been convalescing. She had an injury.
Yeah.
And she got morphine.
Yes.
Okay. She got morphine pills. And Peg's not like a pill gal. Yeah. Right? I am. If anyone has any, but she doesn't like to even take Tylenol or anything. She's all natural.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Thoughts and prayers. Cure.
That's right. So she had to take the morphine for a while because it was unbearable. And then did I tell you about how she decided she was going to stop taking the morphine? And she told me it was because it changed the way she saw the world.
Oh, no, you did not tell me this. Go on.
Well, you're having the same reaction I did. I was so psyched. I thought I was settling in for like thoughtful,
right,
introspective Peg.
Okay.
We were going to hear how she did see the world, maybe how she's now seeing the world thanks to morphine.
Huh.
And so she says, I just got to get off of this stuff because it changes how I see the world. And I was like, how so?
Yeah.
And she was like, it just makes everything so blurry.
Oh, God.
I was livid.
We were going literal, not.
I go, you don't say it like that.
No, you say it makes my eyesight. It affects my eyesight.
My vision.
Not changes how I see the world.
See the world? That's a metaphor,
Come on.
dummy. It must have been the morphine talking. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, and I was going to say, usually there's not deep insight off of morphine. I didn't know that was
one out of Peg's mouth.
So,
I was so excited.
Man, I was really looking forward to what you had coming there. But
sorry,
that's
Sarah.
Funny. That was the classic Amelia Bedelia situation we had there. That,
totally. The door, she left the door ajar.
Yes. I feel like your mom is kind of like an Amelia Bedelia.
Oh my God. Great comparison.
Yeah. And she watches kids.
And the fact that we both know what we're talking about right now.
We know exactly what we're talking about. That's so great.
Amelia Bedelia and Peg are literal. It's like, it's also like Elmo or, it's like a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
Basically. And I was psyched out of my mind, but she just meant that it affected her vision.
Mm-hmm. I get it. I could be literal about things. It wasn't until a TikTok trend that I realized, honk if you blank, like honk if you whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought that was literal. Like,
me too.
It's not. It's supposed to be like, if you honk, it's like loser say what? Kind of like that. It's like honk if you're horny, like if you're horny, or honk if you're.
Wait, if it says honk if you're horny and you honk,
it just means like if you're. It's like a how do I describe it? It's almost like the person's, maybe you cut somebody off and they honk at you. And so it's like, honk if you're horny, like that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do now.
I did not know that.
No, I didn't either.
But that is apparently what they mean when they say honk if you're blank.
A sphincter says what?
Yes, that's what I said. Losers say what? Like that, or like that, or whatever. Like that's like, I don't know how else to describe what that is.
But it's also literal.
That's what I thought. But okay, we could do a poll. This feels like a very appropriate place for a poll.
Yeah, and you can put polls on Spotify. I don't know why I'm pushing Spotify so hard, but
so I want to know: do you think that's literal, or do you think it's that?
I am dying to know. Honk if you think it's literal. Don't
you have a honk on the soundboard? That feels like something there should be.
Yes.
Come on.
Wait, why isn't it? Adam! Hold on. Oh, no, that's a different effect. Hold on. Wait. We got this. Wait, that's the wrong horn. Wait, we got this. There we go. We got there. Hold on. Say it again.
Honk if you're horny. There you go. Oh, gosh. That felt like a real role reversal. That felt like watching myself in a mirror.
God.
Like
when I was trying to figure that out.
I was like, man, if I've been there, that feels very Sarah.
I mean, it's been months since I've employed the soundboard, so it was not in its like default settings situation.
I put you on the spot.
It's okay, but I'm glad you did.
Yes.
But I really do want to know if people, I think a lot of people are taking it literally.
So we're going to find out in this poll, but that was not on my list. So
okay, sorry.
Here we go. Let's talk about the mushroom coffins first.
Okay.
Have you heard about this? The idea of being buried. So we've heard of like natural deaths, and we've heard of these like eco burials or eco-friendly funerals. There's a push to, come up with more eco-friendly ways to bury bodies. Because let's face it, what we do with the dead, not so eco-friendly.
It's not great.
Not good for long-term.
So weird.
Like, what are we gonna do? Start stacking bodies like vertically? Can't be burying everybody.
It's a dumb idea. All of it. Yeah. So
there's a company out there called Loop Biotech that are using these caskets that are mycelium. They're made out of this root system, and it only takes 7 days to make them. And the coffin is called a cocoon because it kind of does look like a cocoon. It kind of looks like an egg.
Yeah.
And the body decomposes within 45 days, and it turns the body into nutrient-rich soil in like 2 to 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
I know. I do too. There's like no downside to this.
Are you sure? Great. Because that's what it always feels like. It always feels like, oh, well, then I'm going to do this. And then it turns out it's, that's kills birds.
So far, I see absolutely no downside to it. I think.
How much is it though? Maybe it's super expensive.
Oh, guess.
Well, maybe $5,000.
Oh yeah, about $4,000.
Okay, I mean that's pretty good compared
to what a normal coffin costs or what a casket costs.
What's the downside of just like throwing it in like the ground? I mean, not to be crude, I just want to know, like,
I think a lot of it has to do. I mean, maybe, but I think there are some rules around burial, like around.
Oh yeah, like apart from the rules,
because we've talked about that before, about the laws in different states about burying.
That's
bodies.
Right, but I mean,
and who's allowed to do it.
In terms of nature, is there a downside to just like burying a body?
It can take 30 plus years if you bury the body by itself.
Why?
Because that's how long it takes if you don't add this extra fungi to help the decomposition process. Here's the impact. Okay. Traditional burial emits about 250 pounds of carbon versus 25 pounds for a green burial.
Okay, great.
1/10.
So far, so good.
Cremation is even worse. Cremation emits 534 pounds of carbon per body.
Yeah, that's a problem.
So that's not that great. And each year in the U.S., we use 4.3 million gallons of embalming fluid and 20 million 20 million board feet of hardware to bury our dead.
It's ridiculous.
So this feels like the way to go.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. And
go ahead.
Yeah, the idea was launched on Dutch Shark Tank in 2022. So it's brand new.
Oh my gosh.
And they say the process is kind of like baking bread, and it uses hemp and plant waste and local fungi. So it works with the natural environment. And yeah, there you go.
Well, it sounds pretty great.
Yeah. There's another option that I also really like that's called, human composting. And in about 30 to 45 days, you turn into soil. And I kind of like that.
I would love to be soil.
I know, because then you could like plant pots and get I would love
Circle
to have
of life, baby.
Your soil to grow a tree.
Sarah, that is nice.
I mean, I don't want you to die, but if you do,
I would love for you to use my soil.
A Susie tree would be amazing.
Oh, yeah. And a Sarah tree.
Oh my God.
I would sit under its shade.
Yes. It'd be like the opposite of the giving tree. Like
the taking tree.
You were just like putting it in the garden, like nobody cut it down. But yeah.
I'll tell you what I'm taking, and that is anybody that's offering a Caraway cookware or bakeware item, because they're the best.
Gorgeous, functional, non-toxic. I am really into this whole get rid of all the chemicals in your house thing. And Caraway comes up time and time again on all the lists of the things that you need to put in your house if you are taking these kind of precautions and want to get rid of those.
Yeah,
chemicals.
and if you're limited on space too, you could just get like a Dutch oven or, like the essentials from Caraway, and you're set for life.
I use 2 pots, and that's
pretty
really
much
it.
for everything.
I use the Dutch oven, and then like the big soup pot. You guys have seen that one. It's like they have a bigger version. I got that one, and then the frying pan. Yeah, the saute pan.
For real,
I use that
if you
for
just
everything.
have those,
and the one pot meals, it's the perfect depth for that. The lid is versatile. It works on both. Love it.
I love it too, and it's really nice to have some quality pieces that are non-toxic, non-stick, and that are going to last you forever. And they have a million colors. It's just beautiful. And then the bakeware, it's all like the best I've ever used, and everything just slides right out of it. It's phenomenal. They have everything you need, and they have a deal for you even better. If you've been eyeing Caraway's internet famous 12-piece cookware set, now's the time to make your move. You can get 20% off select Caraway products at retail locations and on Amazon during Prime Day. But for the full Caraway collection, including exclusive colors and sets, head to carawayhome.com, where you'll get 20% off orders of $8.75 or more. Visit carawayhome.com to shop at all Caraway non-toxic cookware made modern.
All right.
Okay, so anyway, with this burial stuff, like
Luke Perry was buried like that.
Oh.
Not in the coffin, but he was wrapped in, he did like a mushroom burial. And he didn't specify that, but his daughter made the decision because she said that he was really into conservation and really cared about that. And
I love that, but I don't mean to be mean because we all have our shit. But like, unfortunately, he was a lifelong smoker, and that's why he perished so early. And like, it just bums. I love his passion for the earth, and I just like I wish he would have felt that about his own body. And I mean, we're all doing that in a million ways.
Right.
As I drink wine, you know what I mean? Right. But it's just like, the way we care about that, I wish we could apply to ourselves.
Yeah. I think everything we do in so many ways is like harm reduction,
That's true.
So
we give with one hand, take from the other.
Right. We do the best we can.
But I think that's a really beautiful thing, and I really hope it catches on, because I do too. Not to be mean if you've chosen like the embalming or your folks did or whatever, your grandparents, but it just seems like a really odd thing.
Yeah, and it feels like we're moving away from that of what the reasons why maybe they did that. I can imagine.
I know. I can understand why.
Yeah, and I feel like that at a time when we weren't able to document things in the same way, take photos, and there weren't many opportunities to bring people together and like take photos. Like at the end, I could see why we like dressed people up and in the funeral services, put makeup on them, had, you know, the
you want to
viewing.
document like the ritual.
Yeah, you want to document the ritual. People wanted to, you know, have those I think there even like the photos of the dead. I bet you could see a change in how we cared for the dead and how we treated the dead, and photography and things like that. That I feel like they took photos with you know, people when they passed, right? That was the thing. And I bet
felt
that
more
there was like
ritualistic at that time. Yeah. And now it feels almost like
we don't need to do that as much.
Kind of it. I think it's rooted in this sort of denial that we all have about mortality.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's hard to accept.
Yeah. And so having a I don't know, like knowing that there's going to be something going into the earth with the body, that energy, or that like it's going to be soil, or it's going to be in just 45 days be in the ground and
how are they doing that so fast though?
Mushrooms, man.
Fuck mushrooms.
Fungi. Just eating.
They're crushing it.
Yeah. That's like what they do.
Mm.
You know?
Wonder why it took so long for us to think of this.
I bet it didn't. I bet it didn't in other cultures. I bet this is something that has been I guarantee you that some, you know, like Native American tribe, like would have a burial site where they would throw in certain kinds of like mushrooms or mycelium from the area. And this sounds very like we stole this and repackaged it.
And now we're going to sell it
on Shark Tank. Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, hey, but beats the embalming shenanigans going on.
So, yeah, if I don't go to science, then it's, you know, because now I don't want to be like blown up like that one guy's mom, you know, that story you shared.
Yeah, and if you do go to science, if you're like, yeah, that's what I want to, you got to fill out that paperwork and be like, I do not want this, this, and this.
My grandma had a literal card she carried in her wallet.
Yeah,
that had the information of where she was going to with UCLA Hospital and all that. Yeah.
I'm just saying that there's specifics too, though, because science does, even if it is legit and they're not blowing you up in a military base,
right?
There's still some stuff that seems worth it, and some stuff that
now
seems
I'd rather
like,
just be a plant. Like, you know, I feel like I'm a little, and I'm a little more. Maybe this comes with age, where we're precious. I'm not that special. You know, I'm like, I'm just fucking regular. You know, I don't need to be researched for. Nobody cares about this brain. I'm good.
What about the hysterectomy stuff, though? Maybe.
Oh well, maybe. Yeah, my body.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
My body.
That I would allow. Because
maybe you have something cooking that we don't know about.
I keep volunteering myself for different, you know, research
and you
studies.
Always qualify?
No, they keep denying me because of that. They would, and there was even a study on endometriosis, and I didn't qualify for it. I don't know why.
That's disturbing, and
I think because of the outcome, because everything's got like I don't know. It feels like they absolutely should check. I don't know what it is, but even if for that presence of like bacteria that they there's a whole bunch of shit. I don't know. Anyways.
All right. Well, let's take a break and talk about something else I'm excited about, which is gambling.
Oh, you and I are pretty good at this.
Yeah. It's the family business.
It really is. And one of my favorite things is coming over to your house and making bets on stuff.
We are always making bets, and now we're doing it through DraftKings Casino. Yes. It is ranked the #1 online casino experience. You people know.
Yeah.
You know, I talk about Paul Meister, what I learned from that man.
This for years.
We have been. They have everything you've been searching for. Thousands of exciting games, huge jackpots, exclusive offers, and more. New players get a 10-day welcome offer. 500 spins on Huff and More Puff. What? I need to play that.
We love spins. That's kind of like our wheel.
We need to play Huff and More Puff. Anyway, you get 500 spins on Huff and More Puff when you play just $5 to start. But for real, like, I am pretty psyched out of my mind about all of this stuff. And like, I don't want to say it's how we bond as a family, but it frankly is.
Oh, I'm into this.
It's just so fun. We love games.
Yeah, it does. It's a game. It's so fun.
Download the DraftKings Casino app, sign up with code BRAINCANDY, and spin your favorite slots. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. 21 plus. Physically present in Connecticut, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia only. Void in Ontario. Eligibility restrictions apply. New customers only. Non-withdrawable casino spins issued as 50 spins per day for 10 days. Valid for featured game only and expire each day after 24 hours. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/promos and 8/24/25 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern ET. Number one based on Eilers and Krejcik 2H24 product analysis.
Let's talk about tourism.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is crazy. When I read this article, have you been someplace recently that's on one of those like touristy lists?
No. And okay. I hate the whole thing. I hate this, the people that are mad. They're mad at the wrong people. They're spraying water on tourists and
yeah, whose side are you on?
Well, we talked about it with I forget what recently, and I said, listen, we're all tourists sometimes.
Oh, yes.
Right. And so I understand being fed up with the influx of people and how they mistreat maybe the area or whatever. You're just mad at the wrong people. You have to tell your lawmakers if you want them to crack down on Airbnbs and hotel stuff.
Right.
Don't water gun the fucking guy that's like there on his 1 week vacation.
Yeah, it's like the tourists, the people who want to explore and want to see these places.
It's ridiculous.
And then
what are
the people who
about?
live there. After reading this article, so there was an article in New York Magazine that was about Kyoto, and this is happening. People are looking for this traditional Japanese experience. And before we even dive into that, I think one thing that they mentioned in this article was that by one estimate, 80% of tourists are visiting just 10% of the world.
Well, yeah, because the other parts suck. Where do you want me to go, Akron?
I disagree. I think what's happening are these small paradises, these places like the places in this list were Tulum, Positano, Bali, that they were already overrun with tourism a while ago, and now this influx has made it so these cities are really struggling to manage. My mom lives in where the fuck does she live?
Costa Rica?
Yeah, but the place in Costa Rica, Tamarindo. My mom, I kept wanting to say Tulum. That's not right. My mom lived in Tamarindo, like downtown Tamarindo. I watched that in 10 years. It was a 1-lane dirt road, like highway to get in and out. It could not handle the influx of like companies that came in, and that's what this article highlighted too. That these companies are coming in and creating like touristy versions of the traditional experience, and really like watering it down, really making it like diluting it, and it's what you said. We're mad at the wrong people, yes, but I think also what social media does, in the same way it makes new moms think that they have to throw this like first birthday party that's so special. I think people think that when they go on vacation, it's not a good vacation unless they visit one of these places and take a picture of it. I feel like even I felt like this in visiting the Mona Lisa. We've talked about this before, how small it is, or all of these tourist attractions that have a rich history or get a lot of attention. There are so many beautiful places all around the world. It just depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking to see something that is widely consumed and marketed and like, oh, I really want to see the inspiration for Andy Warhol's paintings and why they put it on bags and with the significance of them. I don't know. Maybe that you have to see the Mona Lisa and that's really important. But I think there are a lot of other museums and places you can go visit that have amazing art.
I don't know. I feel like you're asking a lot of people because we're constantly told. I'll tell you another example. Get out there, go to our national parks. Mm-hmm. We have these, you stay in the United States. We have these beautiful resources. You don't actually have to go anywhere. You can stay here. It's so great. And then we go to the national parks and it was like, there's too many people at the national parks. It's overrun. There's litter everywhere, blah, blah, blah. This is what happens when human beings are anywhere. There's we see this on the poop cruise. Human beings leave behind
traces.
A mark.
Right.
And the reason why they are always in these same places, be it Yellowstone or Paris or whatever, is because for real, there are a lot of places nobody wants to go.
Yeah.
And we're all, like I said about Akron, nobody's going to fucking Topeka. No offense to Topeka.
Yeah. And
I don't know.
And what has to come first? You have to have the people who are there's one group that's like your adventurous people who are going to go to the places that are less traveled and maybe willing to stay in like the places where they don't have an Airbnb, where you just have to find the hotel.
Well, good luck telling Gus and Meredith from
But that doesn't work if you, I don't know, say only have a week off during the year and have to plan ahead, or you have kids that you have to take. You kind of have to go to one of those places. But
I remember.
Oh, go ahead.
When I was growing up, we were super poor, and I had cousins that were not. Mm-hmm. And they said to me, with regards to why I had never been anywhere, are you ignorant or unlucky?
Oh, ouch.
Well, the answer was unlucky. Okay. But also ignorant because I'm unlucky, right?
Right.
So there is this thing where we're told constantly that travel is a mark of sophistication and also success and open-mindedness. But then somebody's like, okay, I'm going to go to Spain. I want to learn about Spain. And then they get water gunned.
Yeah, that is sad.
You know what I'm saying?
I get
why they're mad also.
Yes. So the article discussed Kyoto in particular, and I think what it highlighted was the ways that they are, in a way, like culturally appropriating at the same time. For example, the streets are flooded with tourists who are running around in like rental kimonos.
Oh, Lord.
It's gone so far because Kyoto is this like sacred place. So there's a problem with people barging into people's private homes thinking that they're attractions. And geishas who are actual real, like employed as geishas
and they're
are
like important,
being stalked like celebrities. Mm-hmm. And the city has sent geofence triggered messages to phones begging visitors to stop chasing geishas for photos.
Oh my Lord.
So that's, I think, the big problem is that the and I can remember going to Italy and seeing the like little touristy souvenir shops that had those, Italy aprons that would have the body of like the David. And in a way and it would have like a beret or not like a beret, but the gondolieri's like the, gondolier. How do you say that? It's not in Italian. Gondolieri. I don't know how to say gondola driver. Like, how do you say that in English? Gondola driver, like their little outfit or whatever. Mm-hmm. Is that, they were doing that. It feels kind of like cultural appropriation in a way there. So the souvenir sites are kind of like feeding into it in a way. Who's really to blame? I don't know. But right now, there's cheap exchange rates and direct flights from the U.S. into these cities, and it's made Kyoto this easy access and very convenient place in Japan to visit, and it is destroying the
Okay, so
the
then
culture.
why aren't they telling their lawmakers, like, we got to sort this out?
I think that's a good point.
You're not going to prevent people from coming there just through, like, what are their methods? Not water guns. Like, what are they doing? Just bitching about it or what?
I think they're very polite, so I think they're sending text messages and things like that.
It's just, I got bad news for Kyoto.
Right.
Like, people are going to come if that's the only, like, downside, but I hear your point.
You know, I like what they do in the national parks where things are on a lottery system or they limit the number of passes that you get. I think I don't want it to be like what I hate is when places and this is what always happens, where it's like only if you have money you can access it.
I hear you.
And so that is kind of happening. There are these they say the solution that can help the problem are like people who they call cultural engineers who help really the ultra rich navigate Kyoto's rules, and they book these elite reservations, and they also avoid offending these sacred traditions. But you have to have a lot of money to be able to do that. I was just having a conversation with some friends the other day about how what AI might be doing is creating two different experiences. One that is a like computer generated interactive experience where you maybe put on headphones and AI guides you through a city. And then the people who have a lot of money are going to get the person to person that you will pay for a person to person experience in the future.
Yeah. Like a consultant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the gap is widening.
Right.
But I don't know. I think people are handling it wrong, but if I were them, Pittsburgh, not exactly a big tourism town.
Yeah.
If I were in their shoes, I would be fed up also. I just don't think they're doing anything that's worthwhile to get what they want.
Yeah. And I wish that I urge people who are able to go on those kind of vacations to ask yourself what's driving your desire to go visit any one of those very heavily visited sites. Mm-hmm. If you want to go see Positano, why do you want to go see Positano? Is it because you want to have a beautiful Mediterranean coastline experience? Well, may I suggest Croatia? Ask yourself what you really want to go there to see. If it's, I really want to see, Tuscan architecture, there are places that you can go that are not those top 3 most visited sites. It takes a little bit of work, but I think that our listeners might find that fun, might find that part of the adventure. And so I just encourage people to be intentional tourists.
I agree. Yeah, I agree, Sarah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what we both agree on also.
Yeah.
And that is how much we love Cozy Earth.
Love. Well, I mean, do you like being a few degrees cooler on super, super hot nights in your amazing bed sheets? I do.
I do. I really do. Trust me, I live in an unair-conditioned home.
And you know what I love about Cozy Earth? They're cozy for all seasons. Because, sometimes you have cozy stuff that's only cozy in the winter.
Yeah.
I've got winter cozy stuff from them. I've got and I am so into their soft pillowcases and their soft blankets all over my couch. It feels so nice to lay on those. I love it.
I love them too. And I love that they have the 100-night sleep trial. So if you want to try the sheets or whatever, and then you're these aren't all they're cracked up to be, then you are good to go. They will be no problem, and we'll take them back. They have a 10-year warranty on all those bedding products. But like Sarah said, they really do keep you cool, especially in those hot summer months. The jammies are so soft and lovely. They have just all kinds of great stuff on their site.
I hear the socks are fantastic. Haven't tried myself, but my colleague at my practice, she says that they are fantastic.
Yeah, and Sarah's raving about that blanket. It's a cocoon scenario. Yeah. Go to cozyearth.com. Use code BRAINCANDY for 40% off best-selling temperature-regulating sheets, apparel, and more. Trust me, you'll feel the difference the very first night. Sleep cooler, lounge lighter, stay cozy.
Yes. All right, let's talk about the enhanced games now. What do you say?
Oh my God.
Yes.
I'm like picturing it because the headline that I saw said something about bathing suit bursting.
Oh my God. Uh-huh.
And I was like, okay.
So the enhanced games is a new sporting competition that encourages performance-enhancing drugs and claims to be the future of human achievement. They are pushing the limits of biology, chemistry, also capitalism in a way.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like anything goes. You can do any steroid, any whatever the heck.
I feel like this is, think Olympics meets Black Mirror.
Whoa.
This is, science-forward athletic competition. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Good and bad. Science-forward athletic competition totally skips the drug tests. And they're like, let's see how far we can push human, performance.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of do love the idea. It's wild and I don't know. It sort of shines a light on what the Olympics are trying to do that is never going to happen, which is equality and fairness.
Right. There's never one of my favorite books. And I made my girlfriend, I didn't make her read it. I bought the book for her, The Sports Gene by David Epstein.
Yeah.
One of my favorites of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave it to her for her to read. And she was like, oh my gosh, never has a book been so perfect for me. It's so fascinating.
Why did it resonate with her?
Well, she is an athlete herself. She played basketball in college, and she also works with. She's a prosthetist. She works with athletes and people for prosthetic limbs for athletic performance. So she's aware of the ways that some bodies are inherently better designed than others just because of their genetics or because of the way that the body is built. And what she does in her job is so customized like that. It's when you build a prosthetic for somebody, it is so precise and customized and personalized. And the way the muscles fire and all of that everybody is so different and unique. And I think the book highlights the ways that our genetics and gender and all of that come into play in the sports world, and how the Olympic Committee doesn't know what the heck to do because there's no standard, and we can't put a standard on human bodies because, like you said, it's not fair. There's more in-group diversity than between-group diversity. So there's more of a range in what you see in testosterone in women than when you compare women and men.
Isn't that crazy?
What are you going to do with that? And it's just fascinating. So these guys and I say guys just because the people behind it were these tech investors.
Of course.
And
this is the part that I'm going to have to put out of my mind.
And a lawyer, but it was the same, this guy, Aaron D'Souza, he was the same guy who worked to bring down Gawker.
Oh yeah. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that story.
So that's who we're dealing with, tech bros.
I hate Peter Thiel and I hate that guy.
Yeah. Peter Thiel.
Peter Thiel can suck my dick.
There you go.
I fucking hate these clowns.
Yeah, bozos.
They're disgusting.
Well, they're the ones behind this.
This is a fun topic, though, Sarah.
Yeah, right. It's good. It's good because I think what you are feeling is what a lot of people are feeling, that how can we really trust a game that's put on by people that we don't really trust and that's why it's really run by capitalism. It's really interesting that the breakdown of prizes and what people get, because that's what we talked about, what you were asking about when we were together and we were discussing this. And I was like, I don't even know. But now I have the answer to that. So winners of individual events take home $250,000.
I love that they're getting paid.
And if you break a world record, you get a $1 million bonus.
I mean,
it's $1 million for a 100-meter sprint or the 50-meter freestyle. And I think they broke that. And $250,000 for all other records. And every competitor is paid, even if they don't win, via guaranteed appearance fee. And so anything like the rest of the prize is like broken down. I'm already on testosterone, so.
Sarah's juicing.
I'm juicing. Yeah, except I went and got my blood work done, and they were thinking with the testosterone I was on, they're like, oh, it's probably going to be, above a 100, and then we're going to have to get it down. No, it wasn't at all. So I'm using it up, whatever it is.
What the fuck? For real?
It was 83 was my testosterone levels. Well within normal range after taking it. So
this is crazy, Sarah.
Yeah, I'm juicing, and it's still rigs. So
I guess I have so many emotions about it because, as I said, I hate Peter Thiel. I hate his agenda. He is dangerous. I mean, he just did a New York Times interview with Russ Ducat where Russ was basically saying, like, are you the Antichrist? And he was like, maybe. Like, that's how gross he is.
Yeah, it's not good. And you're not alone. Critics say that it's dangerous, unethical,
it is dangerous.
Sets a terrifying precedence.
However, I wish that Olympians were supported more appropriately financially. Yeah. So I'm like of two minds about that.
Right.
Like, you remember when Mary Lou Retton a few months ago had like a medical problem, and then she went to the emergency room. She was in the hospital, and her daughters had to do a GoFundMe because she didn't have health care, because Olympians don't get, like, it's not like veterans or something. Like, there's no VA hospital.
Why isn't just paying?
Well, I mean, she just got a DUI recently, so I think she's got a lot going on. But I mean, it's Mary Lou Retton. Perfect 10, baby. I mean, like, this is why I know I'm going to have to work the pole and nobody's going to hire me. And then I'm going to have to do an OnlyFans for feet. Because at a certain point, you're out of options. And I feel like Mary Lou Retton is in that position. But she wouldn't be if our Olympians were sort of like supported appropriately.
Right.
Maybe a nice balance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think there are some wonderful Olympians like Ilona Maher who are raising awareness of that. The rugby player who was on Dancing with the Stars.
Is this the lady?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know her name.
Yeah. So fantastic. And she's just so good
her.
I do.
Your type? Is that what this is?
She's really good at social media, too.
Is she good at other things, Sarah?
She's a straight woman.
Oh, I thought you loved her and that she was a les.
No, I love her and that she's a strong body type that is getting.
Was she on Sports Illustrated too?
Yes, twice.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, and she looks so good. I love it. I love strong bodies.
But it's it's like a strong body type that isn't normally
and then
heralded.
And she'll just come on Instagram and be like in her shorts and sports bra. Like, this is, just so you know, this is an Olympic athlete body. This is the body of an Olympic athlete. I'm a professional athlete. This is what a body looks like. It's not perfect, but I love it. It does what it's supposed to do. And that's how I am so like, who the fuck just like your body's just supposed to do what you want it to do. And who gives a shit?
I want to ask you something, though, about this episode. Here's what I want to know.
Yeah.
I love you so much.
Oh, I love you, too.
I'm doing the, like, compliment sandwich.
Okay.
I just want to know, like, do I keep offending you?
No.
Okay.
Does it seem like it?
Yeah.
Do I seem offended?
Yeah.
Oh my God, no, I'm not offended at all.
Okay.
I'm totally with you on all these things.
Okay.
I'm agree. Oh, that's so funny.
No, because I think
what
maybe
you're
it's when it's
noticing
your
is me,
episode, your focus.
my focus. What you are
Yes.
noticing is me not being reactive. What you're used to is reactive Sarah rather than active Sarah. And that is absolutely what is happening. I'm just like, what's my next point?
Totally. And that's okay.
That I want to tell her.
And
I'm totally in
it.
line. I agree with you on all parts. Tourism,
Okay.
yes. He's a fucker, yes.
Suck my dick.
Suck my dick, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
just checking because it could go either way. And what do we do if I do offend you when it is also your episode?
I would tell you.
Okay.
And I would get more, when I get real defensive. I start it was funny. I was hanging out with my friend Dave, and he was telling my girlfriend that I am very easy to read because the more intense and the more I care about something, the higher my hands will go. That you can tell exactly how much I care and how fired up I am by where my hands are. Because if
That's a really funny bit.
It's fucking hilarious, and it's so true that when I start talking about something I really care about, and my hands are above my freaking head, and this is so true. And he's like, as long as her hands don't go above her shoulders, you're good. Like,
okay, I mean,
so that's a way to kind of tell where I'm at. I'm like, that is fucking hilarious and so accurate. I mean, he does know me real well.
It's really terrible, though, when someone has your number like that. Like, because it's so disarming and, like, exposing.
Yeah.
Because he's right.
Oh, so
but
right.
It's like you don't want anyone to know
play
that.
poker and somebody knows your tell.
Yes.
Like, oh, he got me. But the guy's known me since I was, like, 8 years old.
Sarah thought that I was offended that she didn't condolence me about Brian Wilson because whenever we did talk, I was like, Sarah, where have you been? It is fascinating to me about how, like, we have totally different timelines or algorithms or whatever, because you didn't even know that Brian Wilson died, and it was like everything in my feed. And she's like, you're mad at me. You're mad at me.
I know.
I know you're mad at me.
It's terrible.
But you said you're fascinated. That was my tell, but I wasn't really mad at you. But
and I've been waiting to tell you this. Guess what? I informed Amy of his death too, and I would have thought she would have been. That's my girlfriend. Now you all know. I informed her of his death.
Yes.
And it
disturbs me, but I wasn't offended.
And we talked all about how, isn't it weird how we have such different algorithms, because what Susie said is totally right. So
yeah, it is. But it is, although I wasn't mad in that case, I did find it funny that you know that sometimes when I am mad, I'll use the word fascinating instead of saying, I think it's offensive.
Right.
I'll be like, I just think it's fascinating.
I know what that is. Yeah.
That you're a piece of shit. But I wasn't mad at you anyway.
Like when there's somebody, when we're at a restaurant and somebody does something wild, you will be like, well, that was fascinating. Like, is that fascinating? Like, am I right? She almost did a spit take.
It is true.
Yes. So we
but
have
in
each
that
other's
case,
numbers.
I was not mad at you. I love you so much. But Sarah's hands, very funny.
So funny. Okay, last thing I want to say on the whatever extreme games or whatever the fuck it's called. What do they call it? Something dumb.
Enhanced?
Enhanced. They might even include esports, which I guess now you're doing like Adderall, which then further supports my argument that Adderall is a performance enhancing drug.
Wait, I thought that would be anything goes.
Yeah, it is.
Why isn't? Oh, okay.
But I'm just saying.
But they're doing ones where you kind of like have to do it?
Where, like, I think in other esports, you're not able to use that. But if they include esports in there, you can play video games hopped up on stimulants, and those guys will go forever. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Yes, I do know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I guess. Right. I mean.
Yeah. And the swimmer already broke that record.
Which
$1 million.
Why did you say 50,
because that was the $1 million prizes were for the 100-meter sprint and the 50-meter swim.
Right.
And they broke the world record
though.
for the 50 meters. So I think that's what you said about bathing suits flying off or whatever. You know,
right?
Yeah,
things start happening.
Yeah,
bursting, bathing suit bursting, or it's just the body type, because like then they have like the big. Like the Liver King.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
like
maybe.
that their chest is like so big that they're like just look superhuman in the water. And yeah. I mean, I'm interested. I don't see it ending well. I think this is a step in the direction of Hunger Games.
Do you like it or not? Are you fascinated or not?
Yeah, I'm fascinated. I like it. I like it in the same way I like AI. I'm cautiously optimistic. Like I see there being a lot of problems. I know it's even worse than that. This feels like it can't end well. I think it's going to just end up, we're going to be in fucking Hunger Games kind of situation.
Well, I think why people are in particular angry is because if you're you're not just saying anything goes, you're also adding an incentivized prize of breaking records. That invites injury and
this is like
death.
The people the holding your pee contest and people dying from water toxicity or whatever on the
hold your wee for a wee.
Yeah, that feels like that. Where you're going to push the body, and we will see people die.
People will die.
Yeah.
And then we'll hear the following phrase, which we hear all the time about reality TV. They knew what they were getting into.
Yes, we will hear that. And I'm sure they sign contracts that say all that is what, you're doing. They're comparing it to Formula One. They say you don't make drivers slower to keep it fair. You build better machines.
Who says that?
I don't know. The people who are behind the...
You don't make drivers slower.
To keep it fair. Like if there's somebody who's really good, you don't make that driver go slower to make it fair.
But who's suggesting that?
I mean, nobody. This is just their quote. I didn't fucking write it.
That's a dumb quote.
Well, you can tell that to the guys you don't like.
It's a fascinating quote.
Mm-hmm. That was literally the quote.
They say this stuff and they think it sounds smart, and then I'm like, that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, that's like all guys with the mic.
For real.
It's like, what is that? Fucking word salad. Get the fuck out of here.
That's right, Sarah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. If you were able to juice up and do an athletic competition, like some kind of Olympic sport, what would be the thing that you would juice up and prep for?
That's a great question. Do you have an answer for this?
I mean, I didn't until I decided to ask it. And now I'm thinking swimming would be, or like water polo, because it would be awesome if you were a juiced up water polo player. Oh, that's how. I mean, when I play water polo, my legs are fucking huge right now, and I love it.
Oh, they are
from snowboarding. From like hip flexors from snowboarding. Like, I want to go to the gym and see how much I could lift, because I think it's a fucking lot.
All right. Well, I'm
just bragging now.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I don't have anything to brag about. So, like, if you look at my body, what could I potentially even be okay at?
Yeah. Let's see. What would you do?
I don't think I have anything.
That's not true at all. No, I bet you could be a good rower. I bet you have, because you have long ass arms.
Okay.
Right?
All right. So,
yes.
Then I will choose that one.
You're a good, because that's what they look at. They look at the ratio of that's also in the sports gene.
Mm-hmm.
They look at the ratio
size.
of your
the length of your arm.
What the hell is this bone? I don't know. My girlfriend would know.
I don't know.
Radius, tibia. No, that's your feet. Tibia and fibia are your legs. Ulna and radius. That's one of them. So
those
one of those
don't even ring a bell.
Yeah, that's your arm. And if one of those is like longer, I hope I'm right. She's gonna roll her eyes if I'm not. That there's a really great story from that book that I'll just share.
Yeah.
So England and China were two countries that wanted to boost their medal. They're always looking to get more medals, of course. But what the ways that they went about this is they started measuring people, understanding that certain body types were better for certain sports.
Yeah.
So in China, they were looking for divers. So what they would do is they went around to the elementary schools and they would have people put their arms up over their head together, and the ones where they're
I wish schools
see
did
how
this
it, like,
now.
if I put mine up, they almost touch. Like that ability to like interlock your elbow. Like, could you do that? Yes, diver.
Oh my God.
Diving. There you go. There you go. We just found it. You could do that. I can't do that the same way. I cannot streamline as good.
What's that from?
That minimizes your splash.
What causes this?
Having a good, like your rotator cuffs probably, or something in your shoulders.
My God.
The way your shoulders are built.
Missed my opportunity.
See? So there you go. So they went around measuring people's bodies, and you would have very little splash. And you're lean. Oh my God, you'd be a great diver.
Splash.
Yes. Diving is Susie's calling. My God, let's get you on the diving board. That'd be fun to see. You'd be very graceful.
That's why they should have done this.
You can already do a backflip on the trampoline. I know it. I've seen it.
Sarah, that's why this thing should be put into all schools already.
Okay. Well,
Why
they
aren't
did
we
that
doing that
in England as well. They went around measuring the students. They were looking for rowers in England. They went to the high school.
This I love.
Love this. There was an English teacher, and they were like,
just hanging out.
Hey, you look like you have the right ratio we're looking for. She is now, I think it's either a 2 or 3-time Olympic gold medalist.
Can you even?
She was a regular teacher, never did anything. That is my fucking dream, for somebody to come along and be like, hey,
we know what you should do.
We know what you should do. And then you go along, you win medals. I can't. That's the fucking coolest story ever.
Yeah, is she psyched out of her mind or not?
She's got to be.
She should be.
I'm going to find her name real quick. Helen Glover, 2 Olympic golds, 3 world titles, 3 children, and her 3rd games in sight.
Outrageous.
Can you believe that?
No.
It's so cool.
She is one of
the most decorated athletes on the Great Britain team. It's so freaking cool.
I mean, I love this for her.
So, yeah.
What's her sport?
Rowing. Yeah,
Man.
She was a PE teacher.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she was athletic already.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
And they were
she
like,
just hadn't found her perfect.
Let me measure you. And they're like, get over here. Would you like to join the team? It's a great book. If you haven't read The Sports Gene by David Epstein, and you are into genetics and sports and bodies and freaking fun facts, and it's all in like little stories. It's one of my favorite books ever.
I mean, that's why, like, when everyone talks about fairness and this trans debate or whatever,
right?
And then you take one gander at Shaquille O'Neal. Like, did you see that photo that went viral the other day? It was of The Rock with Shaquille O'Neal, and
no,
The Rock
I did not.
Looked like Kevin Hart next to Shaquille O'Neal because he's a gigantic man. He is Goliath.
Right.
That's not fair.
Right. That's why that in the book they also talk about. David Epstein also talks about how David Epstein. What's that? Oh, that other Epstein. I was like, why does that name sound like a name I don't like saying? Oh yeah.
Yeah. What's that guy's first name?
Like Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
Okay.
Not that one.
Not that one. Different. Fuck. Now I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about before?
Okay.
We were talking about.
Well, I was talking about Shaq and how he's humongous and how that's not fair. And then you said, David Epstein says,
yes. Basically, that the sports aren't fair. That if you look at, there was a pole vaulter, like high jumper, that one high jumper had been training his whole entire life. That the different in high jumping, it's shortened Achilles tendons. So some guy comes in with genetically shortened Achilles tendons, beats the world record his very first year over the guy who's been training his whole entire life. And that's how it's going to go.
That's why it's
our bodies are
stupid.
designed for that. And they talk about why. This is what he was going to say. That the 10,000 hours rule needs to be really taken with a grain of salt, because that is not, and what that's really about. And the 10,000 hours rule were for violin players, where they had something they could practice, but you already had to have a musical ear. That 10,000 hours rule could not be applied to basketball if you were, say, as he put, like somebody like him who is however tall.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's exactly right.
Yeah. Really
There's
interesting.
There's a caveat there.
Love it.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
Great episode, Sarah.
Thanks. I didn't get to tell my stories, but I'll save them for next time. And you know what's coming.
All right, people. We love you. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
In the blue corner, boxing in his first professional match, it's Kenny Carmichael. And in the red corner, the Prince of Pain, the Baron of Brutality, Freddy the Fist Finnick. It's all over, folks. The Fist has done it again.
Superior performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge is engineered for superior performance and protection in 7 critical areas. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance and protection.